This week on Rusty Auto Adventures, does Chris work on the Star Chief, or does he just fool around?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hey folks, sorry if that intro scared you a little bit, but just having a little bit of fun. Probably didn't scare you at all. Anyway, it's been 6 months. We're back working on this car, trying to get it ready for Duct Take Drags in Tucson, Arizona, October 17th and 18th. It's currently, middle July, so we've got 2 months to get this car ready for that event. Yeah, want to try and have this car done by the beginning of September to the middle of September. That way we got a little bit of time to, test the car, debug it, make sure it's not just going to break down instantly. We'll see if that happens. It might come down to the wire where we're loading on a trailer and we're gone, because we're going to try to be in the area basically a week before and then stay a week after, kind of see the sights and take it all in. And it is in October, so I mean, it's still gonna be hot, but hopefully it's not as hot as it was last year. I forget what it was, 106? Maybe it was more than that, I don't remember, but kind of miserable really. But the event itself, tons and tons of fun. Anyway, yeah, 6 months. And all I gotta say about that is, family comes first. Stuff like this always comes second. So now that we've got that situation taken care of, we're all good. We collected parts over the winter that we're going to be sticking on the car, of course. Where else would you stick it? On the lawnmower? Anyway, so yeah, we got brake kit in. We got a few other things. One of them's kind of a surprise. I think is really gonna step up the way this thing looks. I don't know if you could tell on camera, but just the other day, we did do an SOS and steel wool wash on this car. And it did turn back from kind of a gray back to a very pale teal color. But we'll do that again as well, because it's probably going to need 1 or 2 washings like that, because this first time around, it was a lot of work. And yeah, we're both kind of sore from doing that. So, and plus it's 102 degrees outside right now. Kind of don't want to be outside. It's in here. We got the swamp cooler going. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at what we gathered over the winter. There's kind of a surprise right there. Not going to reveal those quite yet, but as you can see, you can tell what they are. And remember, keep in mind that we're building this sucker on a budget. So yeah, with that in mind, we pieced a lot of stuff together. So this car is going to get a disc brake conversion in the front and maybe in the back. But anyway, I did buy a master cylinder for disc brake, front and rear, proportioning valve, all that kind of thing. Johnny, go ahead and open the hood. Because one thing that kind of scares me about these older cars is it has the single circuit master cylinder. I'm going to show you what that is. So it's going to be a little bit dark, but you have to bear with me. Single chamber master cylinder. If you look from the side, right there, get the spark plug out of the way. Spark plug wire out of the way. You can see there is one hydraulic line coming out. And that goes down to a diverter, and it has kind of like equal pressure going to all 4 tires. If you lose, a rubber brake line in any of these tires, guess what? You no longer have brakes. So that's kind of the idea. Is we, after duct tape drags, of course, we want to take this car and go have some fun with it, ride it around town, that kind of thing. So it's just a safety thing. We're going to put the dual circuit type master cylinder, go ahead and convert the front to discs. Maybe the rears, we'll see how that goes. That's going to be a little bit kind of questionable. The master cylinder I did buy for it is compatible with disc brakes front and rear. But yeah, let's go take a look at some parts. Okay. Rear rotor. Okay, kid, go ahead and move stuff to the side just because we're going to take a little bit of an inventory here. While he's doing that, so what do we got there? That's one of the front rotors, another front rotor, and then another rear rotor. So I got all 4 rotors, and then that's kind of a surprise too. So go ahead and pick that one up and go join it with the other surprise over there. Okay, it's kind of a good refresher too, because I don't remember half of what's in this stuff. Go ahead and open this up, kid. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's all the front end joints. Okay. Tie rod ends, whatnot, that kind of thing. Oh, that's cool. Forgot I ordered that. Sheesh, glad I'm going through this. All right, next box. Okay. Oh yeah. There's the brackets for the front rotor. I believe that's the master cylinder. Go ahead and pull that up on top of the brown box and we'll take a peek. Yep, sure is. So there we go. Okay, what's in the brown box? Oh, the vacuum booster. Okay. Cool. We're going to move on to the next box. Okay. Box number 14. I don't know. What do we got? We got, oh, wheel bearings. Nice. We got new grease caps, brake hoses. There's the rear conversion kit. All right. There's some calipers. Those are big calipers. Holy moly. And then I'm assuming those are for the rears. Well, yeah, it says rear. Okay. All right, cool. All right, apparently we lost the sound for this section. Sorry about that. And I have no idea what I was talking about. Probably something about the project, the car, you know, that kind of thing. Hey, look at that. There's some oil staining on the ground. Huh, wonderful. There's also a drip pan that's not catching any drips. Great. Shop light. Got a drop cord. Got an air hose. Got some rust holes inside the car. There's a stool. There's a tire. Huh, interesting. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, wanted to bring you in and show you this. This is pretty crazy. So finally, after like an hour, got the stupid drum off. Check this out. So normally, you back off this star wheel, and it shrinks down the circumference of the shoes, the brake shoes, the linings. It goes, so that way you can just pull the drum simply off over top of everything. Well, this one didn't want to play nice. So we ended up pulling everything off, but check out the wear on the front of this thing. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. If I can get it to pull back. There we go. So if you look right here in this groove, you can literally see there is no pad left at all. There's like a sliver of it right there. And the other shoe, the other pad, whatever you want to call them. They're technically shoes. All right, there you go. There's what's left of them. Just that. Look at that. Look at this groove, this ridge, this rise. Is actually, let's see if I can show it. There we go. Well, yeah, right here in the blank spot. Look at this. Right here. Look at how it wore this groove in right here. Isn't that crazy? That's nuts. But yeah, there you go. Got one drum off, so I think on the other side, we're not going to battle it near as hard. We're just going to loosen it the best we can and then rip her off. Okay, we'll bring you back when we're further along. Okay, we got this passenger side kind of all done. Everything's still kind of loose and just mocked up because it took a little bit of a learning curve to get this particular kit to work. And on the other side, I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the learning curve, but kind of an interesting setup. You know, you've got a bracket. It uses the exact same spindle, upper, lower ball joints. None of that changes. It just uses a bracket. And I'll show you on the other side, in place of the backing plate for the drums. And then on that backing plate, it uses these pins as the supports and also the slides. As you can see, the pads slide on those pins. But huge piston too. But yeah, we got tie rod ends, we got inner tie rod, we've got the what do they call that? The idler arm. You know, all that's brand new. Got the upper control arm bushings are replaced. We've got the lower, let's see if we can find it. There. Lower control arm bushings way in the back, way back there. Got that replaced. Got the one up here replaced. And then last but not least, on this side at least, we've got, what do you call that? The sway bar end links. I'm going to save those to last. We still got the other side. And I'm just afraid that they're going to interfere a little bit, you know, because we do need to push that up and out of the way to get these springs, these gigantic springs out of here. Oh my gosh. And no, I will not film how we get these springs out of this car. We do use a spring compressor, but it's still a little sketchy, so I'm leaving that part out. Anyway, let's move on to the other side and get that part done. Yep. Okay, now we're on the driver's side. These two bolts are just in here to hold this up in place while I put all the joints back together in this car. All of them have been replaced in the front end now. It's great. So anyway, the topic on hand is this conversion kit. So this is the stock wheel bearing that came out of the drum. As you can see, when you put it on the spindle, it slides right on there. It's the exact same size as this outer race or this OD. So the ID of the bearing is a perfect fit. Now, the conversion kit uses this bearing. If you notice, the new bearing is quite a bit bigger in both ID and OD. So what we noticed was, I'm going to put this bearing aside so I don't get it confused. They give you this adapter. Now I'm not going to pound it on here. I'm just going to show you for illustration purposes. But you put this adapter on there, which is, it's a friction fit. It is not a press fit. We used a chunk of PVC, and I'll show you that later when we actually pound it on there. It just goes right on there. So if you had to pound this off later, you probably could. So there's that, right? So now the new bearing sits over that. And if you notice that the inner race is protruding a little bit from the outer race, and so this surface rides on this surface. It no longer rides on this surface. As you can see, the bearing's too big. I thought, well, maybe there's a mistake on that, but no, doing some research, that's, I guess, accepted as normal, is now we're going to put a little bit of thrust pressure on this adapter. And so it's essentially going to sit inside the car like that. So what's keeping it from wanting to be slack? I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. They do give you a new seal. That new seal is a pretty dang good fit. So at least the oil is going to, stay in place, or the grease. But you know what I mean? Something's a little just wacky there. Why would they remove the load bearing off of the spindle? Like I said, the old bearing is overall smaller. So could you use this bearing inside the new rotor with the conversion kit? No, because it'll be completely different sizes. So that being said, the passenger side is together, and we're going to run it that way. And after the duct tape event, when we get home, I'm going to pull one of these sides apart and check out how that inner bearing is doing. And we'll make an assessment from there. Maybe it is fine. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, let's go ahead and assemble this side. caliper. Not bad looking. It's definitely got a good sized, decent sized piston in it. You know, it is what it is. Chinese stuff. But what I find interesting, again, I'm outside of that. Where'd it go? Oh, this goofy thing is that they rely on the slide pins back here. This threaded area is what threads into the bracket. So that's what holds the caliper on. Side pins. A little bit different. Not sure I've ever seen a setup quite like that. See how it works. All right, folks, we're going to cut the episode right there. We ran into some snags, had to order some parts, that kind of thing. So I think it'd be best to go ahead and end this episode right here. And we will see you on the next one. Later.